Whatever God you may believe in, say a prayer for us. It's just after Christmas 2023, and we decided to go up in the hard now as opposed to over the summer in order to free up that time to take some trips. We're traveling from our home port, City Marina, Garrison Bight, Key West, to 3D Boatyard on Stock Island. We're hoping to be on the hard for only a week, but we have a lot to do. On the way out of Key West, there's always lots to see, from giant yachts to cute little tugs. And it's always a sight to see, and a little challenging, dodging the parasailers and jet skiers who are taking advantage of the beautiful waters that surround Key West. We're excited to get this work done, but we're also a little bit nervous because we've already had some surprises from the people we've contracted. All right, so we're on our way to haul out for what, the third or fourth time? What would you say?
Maybe fourth time? I don't even know for sure. One, Green Cove Springs. We haul out twice at Green Cove Springs, or once?
Twice.
And then
If you include the survey and all that, it's twice.
And then here we did it once, and now, no, we did it in Jacksonville once.
Yeah.
And then we did it here a year and a half ago, and now again. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is our fifth time. Just like as many years as we have doing this, we don't quite remember.
How do you feel about this one? It's our second time at 3D. We had a decent experience last time.
It was good. I just worried about the facilities. It's a boatyard, so it's not comfortable. But they're nice people. The office ladies, really nice. And we'll see what we do with our bottom this time. Well, I don't feel 100% that we have a plan.
Well, as far as our comfort, we have the van this time.
Yes.
And we kind of have a tentative plan to go back and forth between our regular marina, even sleep there maybe.
Yeah.
All right, we'll pick up next time, probably on the way into 3D Boatyard. I'm gonna walk off with the front line.
Okay.
The rear line is hanging on the folding chair, ready to go.
Okay.
You may need to come down and throw that to me.
Okay.
We've learned over the years that it's important to have a good plan for docking. It doesn't always go to plan, but at least you have a starting point and you can make adjustments as you need to. We have a plan switching off, handling the lines, and helming the boat. That way we're both practiced at both tasks just in case of some kind of an emergency.
Idle. Pushing in. Idle. Now have to move back. You're in there. You're there.
All right, here we are at 3D Marina on Stock Island, just north of Key West. Took us about 2.5 hours to get here. That is the travel lift that will take us out of the water tomorrow morning, if all goes well. And here's Aeon, tied up on the pier. Tell me all the things you want to get done while we're here on the boatyard.
I would like to get a couple, at least two. We have a bunch of those windows, the port lights, and I would like to get at least two of them done. The ones that are leaking the most, that are in our cabin, the captain's cabin. I would like to paint the running gear, and maybe do some of the grip. What are they called?
Non-skid.
Non-skid. So we have some paint to do some non-skid. We have everything that we need to do all these projects. So we have the guy is supposed to come and get it done. I'm still not 100% sure what the deal with that is, and I'm kind of ready to do the bottom if we need to do the bottom ourselves. So I hope not, but we'll see what happens.
All right, we're going to hope for the best.
Yep.
Lots of boats with character in this yard. Spend a nice quiet evening. All right, it's always a little disconcerting when your home is being lifted up, suspended over concrete. But it's one of those things you have to do every so often when you own a boat. Backing up the travel lift, trying to make sure that the straps get to the right place on the boat to support the weight without breaking anything. These travel lifts are pretty amazing pieces of gear. They're designed to lift boats much bigger than ours out of the water. They got the back straps placed. Now they're tightening up the ones towards the bow. Takes a little while to get everything lined up, but it is not the kind of thing that you want to rush. There's some kind of issue with one of the front straps. So it looks like the front strap came undone in the middle. So someone's going to have to go into the water to try to hook it back up. Or they're just going to have to start over. Let it happen now instead of when the boat's in the air. That would not be good. So they're trying to figure out a way to get that front strap put back together without having to start over or go in the water. Looks like the plan is to bring the boat up as far as they can. So then they'll be able to kind of hook those belts together, that belt together on land. Again, not the kind of problem that you relish when your home is going to be suspended in midair. But these guys do this for a living. Gotta trust them that they'll get it right in the end. All right, it looks like they have the strap issue sorted. So now they have to reposition those front straps, and hopefully we'll be coming out of the water. Now there's an issue with the adjustment of the back straps. Really just want this to be over with at this point. So nerve-wracking. All right, here we go. We're lifting out. Whatever God you may believe in, say a prayer for us. All right, moving forward over the concrete. This is always the scariest part for me. Boats are not meant to be on concrete. How did you enjoy that?
It's very stressful. It's still stressful. I'm waiting till they have her standing someplace stable.
Yeah.
Those straps coming off did not make me feel very good.
No.
But the bottom doesn't look as bad as I thought.
No.
Look at this, the swim platform metal.
Yeah.
That's like the worst of everything.
That's the worst.
You see the running gear is not that bad.
No, it's not as bad as I feared it would be.
I guess the cleaning I'm sure helps.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing it a lot worse than that.
Yeah.
So, and it's been almost 2 months since he cleaned.
Yeah, our diver Austin has done a good job with that.
Yeah.
And he's the one that's going to be doing the bottom paint. So,
yeah.
All right. Can't wait for this thing to be over, for it to be safely on jack stands, and we can get to work. Pressure washing is the first step. Glad they're doing that, because we are going to paint the running gear ourselves with prop speed, and the first step is trying to scrape all of those barnacles off and get it down to bare metal. So this is very helpful. So our boat needs to go from there to about there. So that's going to take some pretty fancy driving. And I believe this pickup truck is right in the way and it's not starting. So that is about the kind of day that we are having so far. So not to be deterred, the boatyard staff is using a forklift to get this pickup truck out of the way. Hopefully things will stop going wrong. We're eating a lot of daylight and we have stuff we want to get done today. The bottom painters are coming tomorrow. We were hoping to have the running gear all done by the end of today, and it does not look like that's going to happen at this point. To make things worse, we're supposed to get rain in the afternoon. So all this is just making it less and less likely that we're going to get done what we want to do. All right, the jack stands are in place. And they're lowering the straps. The boat's still upright. Soon she'll be free. And she'll be sitting here for hopefully no more than a week. And hopefully we'll get a lot done. Got to figure out how we're going to plug her in, get some power. Need to get a ladder. And I want to get some lunch before we get started. We'll see if Ivy lets us. So here's the starting point for our running gear. We need to sand this all down to 80 grit consistency to prepare it for the prop speed.
So what happens when the sander is in this situation?
What would boat projects be without multiple trips to hardware stores and marine stores? So our orbital sander, the pad fell apart and the sanding disc flew off. So we either need to find the correct pad to replace it with or just buy a whole new sander. So we'll let you know how it goes. So apparently this is what the pad on your sander is supposed to look like. Not the messed up mushy thing that was on there when we tried to sand the first time, and it just kind of fell apart. So trip to Ace and we should be good to go now. We only have a couple of minutes of light left, so we're going to do the best we can. But we're going to wait to put the prop speed on until after the boat is painted. The underside is painted anyway. So boats, we did a little bit of sanding last night before it got too dark. Got maybe the top layer of growth off. We still have a long way to go. We got to get down to bare metal and polish these up before we can start thinking about putting the prop glide on it. So as you can see, we have cloudy skies. Had a lot of rain today, this morning. Have a late start because of that. Lots of standing water on the ground. It's probably around 10 o'clock. The bottom paint crew is supposed to be here, but because of the weather, they're delayed, so we are not off to a great start. Kind of a continuation of the crappy day we had yesterday, unfortunately. All right, here we go, fun stuff. You can see it does come off eventually, but it's not easy. It's a little bit hard to get into these recessed areas. All right, you can see we're making some progress. Got most of the old paint off of propellers. Still got work to do. Got some hand sanding we're going to have to do. And we're going to have to polish them up a little bit better. And then we still have a lot of work to do on the struts and the drive and the cutlass bearings. So plenty of work left to do. Propeller's not great yet, but definitely looking a lot better than they did. So a gentleman from the yard was nice enough to loan us this scaffold. after Ivy did a trapeze artist impression and almost fell off the ladder, landing on me. I was able to lower her down. It was fun, huh?
Somebody was supposed to be holding the ladder.
Yeah, there's plenty of blame to go around.
No blame. Just somebody was supposed to hold the ladder while the other person was up on the ladder.
So the point of all this is the brackets for our bowsprit have one that was absolutely destroyed, and then these bolts are all rusty, so we need to replace one of the brackets and replace most of the hardware. That was one of the big things we wanted to do while we were on the hard.
Ah! Oh, I didn't take my glasses. My safety goggles.
So we're hitting it with some corrosion buster. Try to loosen it up, get the old hardware off. They're going to need to cut it.
I think so.
All right, you can see what we're dealing with now. Just took this bolt out of that hole there, and I'm not sure how specialized this bolt is, but if we can find one like this, then we could just cut that other bolt off and replace it. All right, it's Friday, and we finally got the crew here working on the bottom. Austin's our bottom guy, and we trust him. We think he's going to do a really good job. It's Saturday afternoon. We made good progress on the hardware for attaching the bow pulpit back on correctly. The bottom job is coming along. They did a lot of sanding and fairing, and they should be ready to put paint on tomorrow morning. They're going to put 2 coats of hard paint. Triton is the brand. It's supposed to last for a long time. Hopefully we won't be back in the yard for a little while. Been working on some of the hardware for the swim platform. There were a lot of loose screws and bolts and stuff that was not doing what it was supposed to. So I've been working on trying to get everything ship shape, tightened, so that we can feel good about stepping out onto the swim platform. All right, one example of something I replaced. All this stuff is 50 years old, but if it looks solid, I'm leaving it alone. But some of these were just spinning and not stable, not doing what they're supposed to. So for those, after several trips to the hardware store, I'm replacing them and making sure they're tight and doing what they're supposed to do. We asked our bottom painter, Austin, for a recommendation for a local metal fabricator, and he volunteered to do it. He said for $300 he could fabricate it himself. So here he's trying to get the right bend on that bracket. We were able to find replacement bolts for the brackets at Cubinitos, If you ever need boat supplies in Key West, that's the place to go. All right, it's Sunday morning, New Year's Eve day, and we are up with the roosters. Literally, there's like 500 roosters I hear crowing in the background. And we need to make one final push to get this running gear prepped for the Prop Glide paint that we're going to put on it. So the painters are coming in about an hour, and we need to knock this out because it's going to be our last opportunity. Once they apply the paint, we are not going to be able to sand anymore because it would just stick to their paint. And we are getting short on time. We're hoping to splash on Tuesday. We have an appointment to splash first thing Tuesday morning. Making some progress, not as much as I would like. See, there's the Gulfstar markings. I am trying to get the bigger, flatter areas. I'll be trying to focus on getting to the harder to reach places with the metal wire wheel on the drill. And it looks like she's making some good progress. Ivy's still hard at work, but the painters are getting ready to cover up the running gear because they're going to put paint on. It's a beautiful Sunday morning here, but it's a little chilly, especially for Key West. We woke up to 58 degrees, and it's the coldest that it's been here in quite a long time. Paint's about to go on, and we are excited about that. Our hull was in the worst shape it's ever been when we hauled out. It took a lot of fairing and sanding to get it back into shape. It's worth it though, because we intend to keep this boat for a long time. We want it to be as safe and seaworthy as possible. By this time, I was so sick of this ladder. We had each probably gone up and down it 30 times a day, and it's not fun for old people like us. Double extra project mode. Crap everywhere. One of the lovely features of living on the hard, no part of the boat escapes the mayhem.
Sun is shining, weather is sweet. Make your home.
Last time we hauled out, we found an inexplicable hole in our starboard rudder. They didn't do such a great job fixing it, but Austin and his crew said they knew how to do it right.
Look how the rudder came out.
Wow, that looks great.
Can't even tell they're
can't
laying
even
in
tell
there.
anything. That's awesome.
Like it?
Great job, yeah. So we're having brunch while the paint goes on. This is called Annapolis Benedict. Ivy is eating
A very bad sandwich.
very bad good sandwich, croissant, egg and cheese, and bacon. And then only in Key West do you get chicken repellent at your table, which I believe consists of H2O. The story, as I understand it, is that cockfighting used to be a major industry in Key West. After it was outlawed, it became illegal to do anything harmful to these animals. Nowadays, it's hard to go anywhere in the Keys without finding these foul friends. Paint's coming along nice. They have at least one coat on, maybe two in some places. So the new plan is they're going to be done today, and then we'll be able to hopefully knock out the rest of the sanding on the running gear by the end of today. And tomorrow we paint first thing, and then we can move on to the other projects we need to finish up before we can get out of here. Back up the ladder again to get on our boat. View of the marina building, some of our neighbors on the other side. This is the view right out of our exit door. The first step was just to wipe everything down with rags and water and elbow grease. And then we wiped everything down with acetone as per the instructions for the prop glide. Next was the first coat of the two-part paint. We were trying to be careful not to allow drips, but to cover everything completely.
So I was trying to fix drips. I think we need to wait a little bit until we're not doing any going over touch-ups.
Next was the second coat of the prop glide paint. We made sure that the first coat was dry before we started.
Try to work on this drippage.
No runs.
I don't see any bad runs. Passing the dry test. The final step is the epoxy clear coat finish, and it went on very nicely. It's Monday afternoon. We got prop speed drying. It's not great. It's not perfect. But we did the best we could with the time we had and with our current skill set, which is novice for this sort of thing.
Look at that. Do we go with prop speed?
Prop
It looks
glide it's called.
It looks like prop speed.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, I think.
Hey.
And then we're also taping off to get the boot stripe completed. We still need to finish installing the hardware on the bow pulpit, and we are hoping to also do some epoxy work on the wood. So we'll see how that goes. We're due to splash early tomorrow morning, so we'll do what we can, and the rest we'll try to get done on the water. All right, we got the boot stripe all taped up. We're just about ready to start painting. And hopefully it'll come out decent. And then on to the next project. We got paint on the boot stripe, and we'll show you when the tape comes off. That's always pretty satisfying. Hopefully we did a good job. And then again, onto that thing, see what we can do with that. We decided to go ahead and put a second coat on the boot stripe. Ivy's starting that process now. So,
Or do you want me to bring your sandwich down to you?
no, I can't stop. Oh, down now. We want to knock this out really quick because we got a lot of other stuff to do. Yep. The bracket that Austin made for us came out okay. It's not perfect, it's not completely flush, but there'll definitely be a lot more support than there was before.
Nope. Nothing.
It was a little bit hard to communicate through the hall, and we had a little bit different idea of how we should do it.
Why are we starting with this one? Might be able to tighten it a little more.
But we finally got it together and got everything tightened up, and it felt really good to have this project finished.
The other side is very good.
Yep.
Spiffy.
Always the most satisfying part of painting.
Making a paint tape bowl.
Well, I was thinking more of the straight line.
Sad. Sad. Very sad.
If the painter doesn't mess up, it's very beautiful. Ivy.
Stop it. Let's go on the other side.
Yeah, let's.
Oh my God, sad. I'll have to get some of that paint to touch up some of this if we can't sand it off. I'll probably use the hand sander. Fix it.
No, just touch it with the power sander, with the fine grit.
Oh, very
It'll come right out.
Very nice.
We won't tell Austin. He already wants to charge us like a penalty fee for messing up his paint job under the valve a little bit, under the hull when we did the running gear.
Austin will be fine. Oh, look at that. Nice. I think maybe that other one might have been too wet.
This is going to be our new water line. And I'll show you a little bit of the top tape being pulled off. And it's going to be much nicer because I did it.
Hey.
All right. It's the top coming off. And it's looking
Crappy.
kind of crappy actually in spots. But still a lot better than it was.
That's the main thing.
It's getting dark, as you can tell. And we still got a lot of stuff to do. We're still going to try to epoxy that bow spread a little bit. Still got to mess around with the hardware a little bit. Try to tighten it up some more. But this is 1,000,000 times better than it was. And overall, it's looking fairly sharp. Still needs to have some cleaning done. But there's a little bit more light on this side of the boat. And it's looking pretty cool. Splash day. It's been a long, hard, arduous stay at the yard. But we got a lot done. We got most of what we wanted to get done accomplished. So as long as we can get in the water and get back home to Garrison Bight, we will consider it a definite success. Aeon went back into the water very smoothly with no incidents. Thank God, because I don't think our hearts could take any more issues with the transfer. It's just after 10 o'clock on Tuesday. Aeon is back in the water where she belongs. And we need to do our engine checks. Straighten up the boat a little bit, just enough so it's safe to get underway. And then we're on our way back to Garrison Bight, where we can hopefully get settled back on our slip safely. And get ready for our next adventure. We were very fortunate to have a great weather window for our trip back. We could really enjoy the process of getting back to our slip, and we felt great about everything we'd accomplished. Of course, there's always more we would have liked to have done, but the main things were completed, and we could feel good about starting the planning process for our trips over the summer. Maybe we'll go to the Bahamas, maybe we'll go to the Dry Tortugas, or maybe we'll take the loop through the Okeechobee. No matter what we do, though, we'll be confident that our boat has been upkept and is in good working condition, our hull is safe, and we're ready for whatever happens next. As we backed into our slip, we felt a combination of relief and excitement for the future.